Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I want to go over something fast, but I found it amazing. Lately, what's been talked about, right? About the UFOs posing national threats. Then you have another side that's saying they are absolutely not a threat. So I was doing some more research, and I don't know why this report from 1967 came up on my screen. And I'm going to get into the validity of it in a few, but let me show you. Let me show you real quick what this is called. The report from Iron Mountain. Now, this was from 1967. Okay. The report is on the possibility and desirability of peace. So basically, we've been a wartime country this entire time back then, right? So they were trying to figure out a way how we can switch over, especially on the economic side and everything, going from a wartime country to a peacetime country. So this editor of this magazine thought, how can we get this done? They came up with this scheme to say that President Kennedy ordered this group of 15 government individuals to come up with a solution on how we could go over to peace, right? So they made up this story. Now, you may think, oh, that's just a hoax. Why do I want to hear? You have to just look at this. I'm not going to read the report. I'm going to put a link to it for you. But I just want you to look at some key features. Tell me how Orwellian it is, and especially the part about UFOs. Okay, I think it'll bug you out because it bugged me out. I'm really glad I did some more research instead of just trying to make a video and then finding out, oh, well, they kind of made it up. The editors, I've had enough egg on my face in my life. Anyhow, but to show you how important it was, even the CIA had a file on it, right? So let me see in the order. All right, so basically what they were doing was they were coming up with ways like, how can we replace the war machine, right? With the money and everything. What can we come up with? Welfare state stuff, everything, something that would unite the people around them so they have an excuse to keep feeding it money, right? So insert one part, right? Another economic surrogate that has been proposed is a series of giant space research programs. These have already demonstrated their utility in more modest scale with the military economy. What has been implied, although not yet expressly put forth, is the development of a long-range sequence of space research projects with largely unattainable goals. Right? Just keep feeding these space projects that get billions and billions, and they just seem to just keep going, right? How long are we looking for microbes on Mars now, right? Anyway, check this out. In the event some individual project unexpectedly succeeds, there would be no dearth of substitute problems. For example, if colonization of the moon proceeds on schedule, it could then become necessary, quotes, to establish a beachhead on Mars or Jupiter and so on. To keep going. Kind of like, when they say the war machine, remember, weapons of mass destruction, and just got to keep feeding it the reasons and everything. And I'm trying to stay off the whole political landscape right now. Sometimes you can't help it. But check this out. What do I have for number 3? All right, so it says space continued. Let me see. I'm sorry I'm doing this like this. Right? So space research can be viewed. I don't want to read this whole thing to you and bore you. I really have to tell you should read this document. It's not just, and it's from 1967. It's not just about space. Other things that you can truly relate to right now, right? Space research can be viewed as the nearest modern equivalent, yet devised to the pyramid building and similar ritualistic enterprises of ancient societies. All right, I'm going to skip down. It says, but current programs are absurdly, obviously disproportionate in the relationship of the knowledge sought to the expenditures committed. So basically what that's saying is, Like, you know how they say on Mars, right? We're looking to see if there, and I know I seem like I'm picking on Mars and just NASA, but how they say, we're looking to see if there was life once in the past, looking for microbes and microbial, whatever, you know what I'm getting at, right? But the money pushed towards it for the end game of it, that they keep going with it, it's like, it just doesn't justify the cost. I don't care what you say. Well, in my opinion, I'll put it that way. That's what that's saying. Anyway, because I said I want to make this fast, right? And let me see, I have number 4 on what can they replace war with, right? It says, and we're getting to the good part right now in a second. It says the war, this is political, so they go in economics, political, sociology, all that. This is the political part of it, right? Just want to read this. The war system, excuse me one second. All right, good. The war system makes the stable government of societies possible. It does this essentially by providing an external necessity for a society to accept political rule. In so doing, it establishes the basis for nationhood and the authority of government to control its constituents. Kind of like control by fear. Put fear out there, right? Where you need government. What other institution or combination of programs might serve these functions in its place with a question mark? So again, I skip this and I just go to the bottom where it says the emerging nations of the people epic must continue to draw political authority from some source. What source may that be? Well, let's come to this part that kind of blew me away. Credibility, in fact, lies in the heart of the problem of developing of political substitute for war. This is where the space race proposals, in many ways so well suited as economic substitutes for war, fall short. But the most ambitious and unrealistic space project cannot of itself generate a believable external menace. It has been hotly argued that such a menace would offer the last best hope of peace, etc. By uniting mankind against the danger of destruction by creatures from other planets or from outer space. Experiments have been proposed to test the credibility of an out of our world invasion threat. It is possible that a few of the more difficult to explain flying saucer incidents of recent years were in fact early experiments of this kind. Right? So it goes on. And again, I don't want to bore you with that, but that's the part that blew my mind, because when I seen this document, because I was looking up something about flying saucer hoaxes or something, why would this come up? So I downloaded a PDF and I did a search in the PDF for UFO, nothing. Then I said flying saucers, nothing. And then I put flying saucer. Boom, it popped up. It was so specific. I should have did a Boolean search, right? But anyway, so that's that. Now, I want to show you something. And just so you know why you should read this, right? So going on below that, even though it has nothing to do with that, it says, nevertheless, an effective political substitute for war would require alternate enemies, some of which might seem equally far-fetched in the context of the current war system. It may be, for instance, that gross pollution of the environment can eventually replace the possibility of mass destruction by nuclear weapons. So basically, they go into poisoning the food supply, water, even like a climate change. I'm telling you, it's Orwellian, this document, right? And here, so what did I tell you? I said the CIA. And a matter of fact, I think that's what brought it up. I was going through a bunch of the CIA documents. And this may have come up in a search or something, because there's no reason why, if I found that report, that I would just, well, let me go check the CIA. No, I think I was going through the CIA doing some searches, and I found this. And of course, I'm going to put a link to this stuff, right? So this is an actual from a CIA file about the Iron Mountain to raise uproar. So this was something, a report that when it was going to be released, it was on the CIA's radar to say, like, this is an issue. This could be an issue. All right. And when I say it's fake, that's what they call it. Like the editor of the magazine back there in 1983, which you'll see in a minute, Because if you have to remember, and I know I'm jumping around because I always go on so long, I'm trying to make this fast. We're at 10 minutes. If you don't know who this is Werner von Braun, right? Some people may believe it or not, and I'm so sorry, I forgot the woman's name. I'm sure you know. One of Dr. Greer's people is a woman, but supposedly, he was part of Operation Paperclip, was when at the end of World War II, where we basically gave the scientists like these ultimatums. You're going to come work and do the work for us, or I don't want to say more. You know what I'm getting at? Well, Werner von Braun was one of those geniuses. Anyway, on his deathbed, supposedly, he said that, and of course, I have no way to verify this or anything. I'm just saying what I've heard, read, seen, everything. I'm sure a bunch of you have already too. But said that the government, their last card, right, in case the war machine, is an alien invasion. That's how they could control everything is, what we've been talking about the last few weeks, right? And, the highly contested going back and forth between Greer and Elizondo. And I don't care for the fighting stuff, right? I'm just saying, being that this part of the topic just bugged me out. I got to tell you, right? So anyway, von Braun, he said that. And then it was funny because back then, let me see the date. Trying to see, I should have wrote it on it, but I'm going to put a link to this also. But this was a clipping from back then of, even if it says National Enquirer or whatever, I don't know if this was a clipping that the CIA had in their file, but I took it from one of them. But even back then, how they're saying take UFO seriously or be prepared for sneak invasions. So it was like a narrative that was happening back then. But just to show you, let me see. Let me see something here. Oh, that's the big one, because I'm sorry about that. So anyway, this was the magazine. I'm also going to put a link to this. The magazine was called The Monocle, right? And this gentleman, his name is Victor Navatsky. It says the year was 1967, Vietnam loomed large, and he was the editor of this in Greenwich Village here in New York of The Monocle. It was a journal for political satire, right? And if you look at the bottom paragraph, the third paragraph, it says, our purpose was to focus attention on, no. You know what? I'm sorry about that. I read that out of turn. Talking about this with my fellow editors, Marvin Kittman and Richard Lingerman, the idea for the report from Iron Mountain was born. Supposedly, we fantasized that President had appointed a task force for experts to plan the transition from a wartime economy, and the task force had concluded that we couldn't afford it because our entire economy was based on military spending. So basically, that's what they were coming up with, this fake dossier, if you want to call it, right? That word, that's the word they use now, right? And it says our purpose to focus attention on the reliance of the U.S. economy on war or the threat of war, our method, concoct a literary hoax, I'm sorry for my speech, a purported account of the government's secret, I can't see, I got to get close. To give it credibility, we would need an ultra respectable publisher. So in other words, they got this guy, they got a publisher that says, sure, we'll say it's real. They got this good author that he did it anonymously. And what happened was, and that's why I had the big one here, the result when the book was published, the New York Times ran a front page story entertaining the possibility that the hoax was a real government report. Now, the reason I'm not here saying that, oh no, because I'm sure it depends what side you're on, and I mean political aisle. This would be more, if it was real, the people on the right would say, yup, that's it. People on the left say, nope, that's false. So it depends where you land on the side, no matter if they come up and swear on 10,000 Bibles or whatever, right? Whatever they want to do, people will still say, nope, it's real. And the funny thing is, I'm not saying that, oh, it's real. I just think the word hoax is the wrong word to use, because they said they were doing this to try to make a point, right? So I don't look at it as a hoax, but the reason I say I don't look at it as a hoax is because when you read the whole report, I think you're going to be taken aback like, whoa, right? The part that's fake is, yes, the government didn't ask for them to do this report. They just did this on their own. But it's the content. You have to be honest. Tell me, that doesn't sound right to you? Wait till you read the report. What's going on today, it's like if they're reading off this report as a plan. Let's follow the steps. The only step they haven't got to, let's hope they never do, is the part about the aliens, right? So anyway, I could just go on and on. Look, we're at 16 minutes already. I just want to share this with you. Let me get my gorgeous face up here. Sorry. But I just want to share it with you because it really blew me away. And I read the whole thing. And there's probably a bunch of you out there that already knows about this, read about it. I'll be honest, it's the first time I've seen the Iron Mountain report. I don't know how I never seen this in the past or never came back. I was surprised. But it's an interesting read. It really is. And that's what it was. I was going through because I think I almost have all the CIA documents, right? And I came through it through the CIA dumps. And it was on their radar. So that's why I decided, let me go and read this. And anyway, I think you should check it out because it truly is Orwellian, this document. All right. Anyway, that's it. Peace out. Oh, to all the new subscribers, awesome. I think I'm going to start putting a list where I'm going to shout you guys out from now on, just all of you, because you're just awesome. I appreciate it. I really want to earn your subscriptions, your likes, anything, comments, bad or good, whatever. I don't think anything's a bad comment unless you're nasty. I think everybody has a right to put their point of views out there. I welcome them. All right. So anyway, again, thank you all for your support. Peace.